All right, so in the last video, we were talking about the BOM for the Positron V3.2.0. So let's go ahead and talk, or let's go ahead and show kind of what I was talking about as far as creating kind of like a tiered BOM. So here we are in Fusion 360 with the Positron V3.2 open. You're going to click on the Manage tab and then click on the BOM, and it will pop up this window. Now what you'll see is it has basically created this tiered list here for you. So you can see here this is level 1, and then these are level 2s, and then this would be like a level 3, and this would be, 2 and then 3, and then here's a 2 and then everything underneath it. And you can see also it's got a thumbnail for all the parts, which is pretty cool. It's not quite loaded all the way through. You can see some of these have a very large uh, amount of parts in it, and you'll see in the BOM it creates, and I take it and I import it into sheets. So how to do that is, of course, and then these are all the stuff that you can tie to it. So you see here, it's got an external reference that you could put a link to, as we call in corporate, alias, which is basically a to a manufacturer, a McMaster part number or something. So basically where you got the model from and where people can order it from. So you put a link here. So that way, once you export this, let's say you have version, let's say every point 0.2 version or something, you release a BOM, or every like 0.1 version, you release a BOM. So if you have parts that you just keep releasing over and over and over again, and you're tired of like manually going in and putting a link into your sheets, kind of like they did originally on this sheet 1. I'll show you guys in the other tab here in a second, in the other screen I have now. So well, let's show it. So here, right, you see the link primary. So instead of that, you can have it linked here in Fusion, and you're ready to go. And then here's the different milestones you could put, the description, a specific part number, release a part number for it, or an item number. And you'll see over here, he's got, assign item number, and then do different releases. And the Positron team did indeed say that they do releases, and you'll see it in the exported BOM. So yeah, basically you go up here, and then you see like a copy link to it, which will go to your station. And then here you can like add or remove all the different columns, and then you can see you can assign item numbers or create a change order, a quick release a part number, or item number in this case. So you can click on this download, and you can import an Excel, basically Excel file, XLSX, and then a CSV file. C is comma separated values. And so here I just did a Excel, and then when you get the Excel, you can do a file import, and then you just hit the upload button, and then you can basically ask for it to be a new tab, and then this is what you get. So, and you'll see here it is already sort of tiered, but it's not grouped. So I'll show you guys how to group, and then this is what I was talking about as far as release. So you see here the state is working, a working file instead of like a prototype. So basically these are all released, as they call it. These are all released concept or evaluation or full production released. So basically that this means that it's good to use, and buyers can go and get it purchased, and it's basically on how developed it is it tested. So here in this case it says it's working, so basically they would have like a V3.3, and then let's say everything in there is brand new. That's generally not how that works, but or let's just say V4 everything is new, pulleys, everything. So that would say when they start developing it, it may be in pre-production or concept. It'll be in a concept state, and then they verify it, and then they'll change it into a working or release state. Well, generally working means that it's not released, but you'll have some sort of release date. I'm not familiar with Fusion's kind of how they do releasing these item numbers and the different states that you can have, because basically, as you see, all of these are working. And you'll notice that also an interesting thing is it doesn't state in here. I'm not sure why, but I think a lot of this takes a long time to come in. Also, another thing, when I did the Excel, I had it failed a lot of times, and I think it's because it didn't have any of these thumbnails. So I think this system takes a long time to bring everything in before it'll actually functionally output correctly. And let me see if I can show, but you can see here so many different times it failed, and then finally it did work, right? Anyways, so let's go ahead and show kind of how to do the tiering in Google Sheets. So the first thing that you're going to do is level 1 is obviously the parent. So that's the part number is Positron V3.2. So then what you're going to do to group is you're going to take the next number. So basically how this works is I'm used to level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But what this is also, this is kind of cool, where it'll show like the subcomponent as another decimal point. So for example, everything is under 1, so it's going to be a 1 and some number. So everything here is 1, starts with a 1, because it's all underneath that master parent, right? If you had an upper assembly, you may have a 1, 2, 3, 4, but in this case, it's all under this part number. So if I had like a v3.2 and a v3.3 in the same file, it may say 1, 2, 3, whatever. But in this case, there's only this v3.2, so it's all level 1. So this level 1.1 is inside 1, right? So this is like basically a level 2. And then inside here, there's another one below this one, 1.1.1. So this is like a level 3. So this is inside this kit. And then this is 1.1.2. So this is not inside this. This is inside this. So these are both parts of this this assembly. And then this one is a different assembly. And then this one, and this one are inside this assembly. So you see basically part 1, 2, and 3. And then this is a new kit. And then this is a new kit. But in this case, some of these are kits, some of these are just parts, right? So these are basically just parts, right? You see washer and small idler assembly. So some of these could be kits, some of them could be parts. And then here you have 1, 2 inside. And then you have some crazy stuff like this one, where this is inside this one's inside this one's inside this one. So this is like super tiered. So let's go ahead and talk about how to do the grouping in Google Sheets. Called grouping. So basically what you want to do is you take the parent, so 1, and then you say, okay, now the next row I have 1.1. Okay, so now it has changed down a level. So it went from basically a 1 to a 2. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down and I'm going to select all the 2s, which are basically all 2s. So I'm going to go all the way down the bottom and I'm going to shift click the row, and I'm going to right click and then view more row options, group. And then now this is going to group all these rows, and you'll see on the side now we have this thing pop up. And so we can go down, and basically we're going to scroll halfway down. You'll see the minus sign so that we can basically compress it. I mean, you can't really see it. It's around somewhere halfway down. You'll find the button to compress it, the little arrow. So let me show you an easier one. So next one, for example, here, 1.1. Okay, this is a 2. And now I see it change from a 2 to a 3. So I'm going to take all the 3s and group them. So and I want to do the row, you don't want to do the cell. So I'm going to shift click these 2, and then I'm going to group these. So now you see here's the minus. So now, okay, I have 1.1 and 1.2. These are either parts or kits inside the overall assembly underneath the parent. Now, if I want to look at the parts underneath 1.1, I can click this. Okay, here's the 2 parts or kits underneath 1.1. Same thing here. We have 3. So then it goes back to a 2. This is a level 2 and this is level 2. So then we're going to, okay, we went from a 2 to a 3. Okay, because now we have another sub-digit underneath. So we're going to go ahead and click on these, and then we're going to go ahead and group them. But the key is, I'll show you, and those are simple examples. So now, beautiful, look at that. I hid already a portion of it, and some of these are massive. I'll show you in a second. So for example, here we have 1.6, And then 1.6 goes on for a while. So you see 1.6 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then stuff underneath it, and then all the way to 25. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here. So this is a 2. So I'm going to go from like level 2 to level 3. Okay, I see it went from 2 to a 3. So I'm going to click on the 3, and I'm going to group all the 3s. Make sure you do the big grouping first. You're going to group inward. So you're going to start from the biggest inward. So I'm going to group these together. And now look at that. Boom. I just hid a whole bunch. And if I need to see what's inside the bed assembly, boom, that's a bed assembly. There you go. So if I wanted to have this inside of my manual and say, okay, bed assembly, you're going to go ahead and construct the bed assembly. Okay, what's required? Boom, there it is. There's all the parts. Make sure I have everything. Build it, right? Okay, so then now we're going to look at this and say, okay, so inside of this, we have these components. So we're not going to group these. Doesn't change, didn't change, didn't change. So this is like a 2 to a 3. So 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4. Okay, it's changed here. So this guy, and then remember, we're going to group the outer. So basically, we're going to look for the 4 and see where the 4 changes. Okay, the 4 changes to 5 here. So I'm going to shift click down to here, and I'm going to group these. Group. Bang. Beautiful. Okay. Now I'm going to go inside. Okay, 4.41. Okay, this is inside. Okay, it already changed here. So I'm going to take these two and group these two. Okay. And now it changed from, this is like a level 3, this is level 4, this is level 5, this is level 6. So I'm going to take from 5 to 6, and then, you can just group that one. So there you go. Now they're all kind of grouped correctly. There we go. Now I could hide those so I can keep working. Okay, 10, 11, okay. 12, okay. So we have some stuff going in here. So I'm going to go ahead and shift click there, group. And then I have another one here where it goes 1, 2, and then it goes to 2.1. So I'm going to group this inside one. Right, there you go. Boom, boom. Beautiful. All right, so here's like another one. So now it's popped out, so I can go ahead and close this. So now I see 1.6, 1.7. So that's correct. That's how it should look. So then it goes from 1.7 to 1.71. Okay, it's changed. So I'm going to go down until it changes from 1.7 to 1.8. Shift click, right click, group. Bang, there you go. They're all inside there. I'm going to open this up, and then you can go in and say, okay, now I'm going to tier any of the other stuff where it changes. So I see here it changes, right? Here it changes. So this is pretty quick. I mean, this once you get a hang of it, it'll take I don't know, 10 minutes. Right, so then you just have to pay attention to what you're doing. Also, another thing, you can probably pretty easily write a macro for this to go ahead and do this, to just group everything inside together. So group the first number of changes, and then just keep grouping inwards. This is pretty easy to program a macro to do this for you. So, I mean, the main thing is to make sure you don't miss one, but even if you miss one, it's pretty easy to fix it. So let's go ahead and look at, but some of these are massive. Like this one, I think it was like the 1.14, this one. So this one is huge, 14, 114.7. I mean, 7 goes all the way down to here. So then we're going to go ahead and group, and then that hides massive amounts. I mean, you see it, how it hid 300 parts, right? That I don't have to look at, that are inside the back plate flat top assembly. Now, probably not the best name of the assembly, but maybe base plate assembly, but whatever. So you kind of get the idea, and once you're done with this, you're gonna have kind of a packed, assembly where everything just kind of collapses down. I'm sure there's a command to collapse everything, but I'll just do it manually here because it's not too bad. I'm not going to do the big one because it's not going to look, and I'm just going to actually do the outside ones. And if you notice, the other thing that I like here is this setup instead of how I'm used to, which is like level 1, 2, 3, is that it'll tell you exactly how many assemblies because the number of assemblies is the or assembly size parts in level 2 is the second number. So there's 30 assemblies in basically level 2. And then you can see I can basically go in here and I can basically pack the level 2 because level 2 is here, level 3 is the next one, level 4, level 5, etc. Right? So there you go. There's a packed flat. Look at how compact this is. This is within one, this is within one page. Here's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is messed up. That's okay. I screwed this one up. I was starting to figure out how to do the grouping, right? And then you see here this is the when you export it, it shows this information, which is also pretty cool. So it shows when I exported it. Anyways, so it should say here should only say 1.14, right? It should only have just the numbers here. If it should only have 2 digits because now I'm only showing level 1 and level 2. So it should not have this one. Shouldn't be like that, right? And then you can go in here and kind of fix that, right? If you needed to, which is basically you go in here and you kind of ungroup it because it looks like I screwed up. Okay. Yeah, this is not right here. So let's see how quickly it is to ungroup. And then ungroup the 4.7s. So basically with that one, I didn't group the outside is the mistake. Looks like I did. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that really quick, show you guys how to fix that. So here we go, 4.7. So I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom, so the 14.7, so where it turns 14.8. Group that, close it. And then the other issue looks like I did not group these ones correctly. So we'll go back here, ungroup, and you want to make sure that you group the outside first. And somehow also this part here is broken. So yeah, just make sure that you kind of get it from the outside first. That will prevent you from having a lot of mistakes, right? And you see here it's kind of broken everything, while in here it's going to be nice and tight still. Yeah. And then there you go. You can hide everything down to just level 1, right? Anyways, let me know if there's any questions about this, and I'll go ahead and create that, and then we'll talk about the sorting, and I'll kind of fill this out and make sure everything is sorted correct, everything is tiered correctly, and then let's go ahead and show how we can do some of the filtering things I was talking about in my last video. Okay, let's go ahead and move on.